This video is on how to file income tax return in ITR 1. Form ITR 1 can be used for filing income tax return by taxpayers having income from salary or pension, income from a single house property, income from other sources such as interests, dividend, gifts, etc., income from agriculture, that is exempt income of not more than rupees 5,000. The condition is that the total income that is generated shall not exceed rupees 50 lakhs. Before filing ITR 1, you should be a registered user on the e-filing portal with a valid user ID and password, and it is advisable that the status of your PAN is active. This video covers the step-by-step process of filing ITR 1 in online mode. However, the form can also be filed in offline mode using departmental, Excel or common offline utility. The utility can be downloaded from the downloads section from the portal. You can download the pre-filled JSON file of ITR 1 from the portal and then import it in the utility. To know more, refer to our video on filing of ITR in offline mode. Let us first see the key changes which are applicable in Form ITR 1 from assessment year 24-25. Please note, the new tax regime is the default tax regime from assessment year 24-25. If you wish to opt for old tax regime, you are required to opt out of the new tax regime. Therefore, a question, do you wish to exercise the option under section 115 BAC subsection 6 of opting out of new tax regime has been added? The answer to this question has been set to default as no. If you are opting out of new tax regime, you are required to select yes. Another change which is incorporated for assessment year 24-25 is that in scheduled salary, standard deduction under section 16IA of rupees 50,000 will be given in the new tax regime also. In other sources, deduction under section 57(2)A against family pension will also be given in the new tax regime. In chapter 6A, schedule 80GGC, 80U, 80DD have been added to provide additional details. In case a taxpayer claims deduction under section 80DD or 80U, then it is recommended to file Form 10IA also before filing income tax return. You can also file Form 10IA after filing your income tax return, which can be followed by a revised return so that the claim of deduction can be considered by the department. However, it is recommended to file Form 10IA along with the return of income to avoid any inconvenience later. While providing bank account details, type of bank account also is required to be selected out of the available drop-downs. Also, the selection of bank account for credit of refund has been removed from the utility from this assessment year. In case a taxpayer is having multiple bank accounts, then refund will be credited to one of the pre-validated accounts available after processing the income tax return. Let us now see step-by-step process of filing Form ITR 1 in the online mode on the e-filing portal. So you are required to go to the e-filing portal homepage and click on Login. On the login screen, you are required to enter your username and password. Post login, click on e-file, go to Income Tax Returns and then click on File Income Tax Return. Select the assessment year 24-25 from the drop-down menu and select the mode of filing as online and then click on Continue button. In case you already have a draft of income tax return saved, you can continue with the same draft, else click on Start New Filing. Select the status applicable to you and then click on Continue. You can select the form ITR 1 from the drop-down menu. However, if you do not know which ITR form is applicable to you, click on Proceed button on the left-hand side for wizard-based return selection. In the wizard-based return selection, you can choose the correct ITR form applicable to you with the help of certain qualifying conditions. Now you can click with Proceed with ITR 1. Once you've selected the ITR applicable to you, you can notice the list of documents which would be required to help you file your return faster, and then click on Let's Get Started. You are required to answer, are you filing income tax return for any of the following reasons? Select the checkbox applicable to you and then click on Continue. On the return summary page, there are 5 tabs. You are required to confirm all 5 tabs one by one. Start with Personal Information tab. Personal Information tab has 4 parts: Profile, Contact Details, Filing section and Bank Details. You can first check the Profile section and edit other parts of personal information if required. You're required to select the nature of employment from the drop-down menu. In the filing section, filed under section 139 subsection 1 shall be auto-selected. For assessment year 24-25, new tax regime is the default tax regime. Therefore, option no will be auto-selected to the question, do you wish to exercise the option under section 115 BAC 6 of opting out of new tax regime. If you wish to opt out of the new tax regime, you can select yes. Please note the Finance Act 2023 has amended the provisions of section 115 BAC to make new tax regime the default regime for the assessee being an individual or HUF. If you do not want to pay tax according to the new tax regime, you will have to explicitly opt out of it and choose to be taxed under the old tax regime. To exercise this option, assessee having income other than income from business or profession must indicate choice of tax regime in the return of income furnished for the relevant assessment year by selecting no as the option to the given question. Please note, if you're opting out of the new tax regime, you will be eligible for only certain deductions and allowances. If you're continuing in the default tax regime, that is a new tax regime, you will not be eligible for certain deductions and allowances. To know more, you may refer to our video on new tax regime versus old tax regime. In the personal information section, now enter the details of bank account and pre-validate it, and then click on confirm. Personal information tab is now confirmed. Click on gross total income tab. Here you are required to verify the income details: income from salary, income from house property, income from other sources, and exempt income. You can use the edit button to add the details of salary income. Enter the details to claim the benefit under section 89A if applicable, and then click on add. Please note, if you are claiming relief under section 89A, you are required to file form 10E along with your income tax return. Click on add details to add income from house property. You are required to select the type of house property and then click on add button. Click on add details to add income from other sources. Enter the details of income from other sources and then click on add button. Click on add details to add exempt income. Enter the details of exempt income and then click on add button. After adding the details of your income, you can click on confirm button to verify income details. Gross total income tab is now confirmed. You can click on total deductions tab. Verify and claim the deductions here by clicking on the relevant deduction tile and then click on confirm. Please note, in the default new tax regime, only deductions under section 80CC-D2, that is employer's contribution to tier 1 NPS account, and section 80CC-H, amount deposited in Agniveer Corpus Fund, will be enabled. New tax regime is the default tax regime. If you have not opted for the old tax regime, other deductions will not be visible to you. Verify and claim the deductions here by clicking on the relevant deduction tile. In Schedule 80GGC, new fields have been added to provide additional details. If you are claiming deduction under section 80DD or 80U, then it is recommended to file form 10IA also before filing return of income. Deductions tab is now confirmed. You can click on tax paid tab. Verify your tax paid under the head TDS salary, TDS other than salary, TCS advanced tax, self-assessment tax, and then click on confirm. Tax paid tab is now confirmed. You can now click on tax liability tab. You can verify your tax liability details as per the income details. Tax liability tab is now confirmed. Click on proceed. If tax payment is required to be made by you, you can click on pay now or pay later. Verify the challan details in the tax paid tab before filing return of income. If no tax payment is required to be made, click on preview return. This is the preview of return. Click on proceed to validation. Once the validation is successful, click on proceed to verification. Select the option through which you wish to verify your return and then click on continue button. You've successfully filed and verified your return. You can download the receipt. Filing of your return in ITR 1 is very easy. To know more, you can visit our website www.incometax.gov.in or contact our helpline numbers.